Mia grew up in a small quiet town where life moved slowly and people knew each other well. She spent most of her time in a simple garage behind her old house where her father Sam worked every day fixing cars. The garage was not clean or modern, but it was honest. The air always smelled of oil, metal and dust, and the sound of tools hitting iron was like music to Mia. She did not play with dolls or games. Instead, she watched her father work. She watched how he listened to engines, how he touched parts carefully, and how he never rushed. Sam believed every car had a story, and if someone listened closely, the car would speak. Mia learned this lesson early. She learned to listen more than she spoke. She learned to observe small details like sounds, vibrations, and balance. She could tell when a car was healthy, and when it was pretending to be strong. She understood that shine did not mean quality, and noise did not mean power. The people in town trusted Sam because he never showed off and never lied, and over time they also began to notice Mia standing beside him, quiet but alert, learning without asking many questions. Mia was calm, curious, and sharp. She did not seek attention. She preferred truth over praise and silence over noise. One warm afternoon, something unusual happened. A silver luxury car slowly entered the town. Its body reflected sunlight like a mirror, and its shape looked expensive. People stopped walking, shop owners came outside, and phones were lifted to take pictures. The car moved smoothly and stopped near the center of town. The engine made a loud sound meant to impress the crowd. A man stepped out confidently. His name was Leo. He wore fine clothes and smiled as if he owned everything around him. He spoke loudly about the car, saying it was rare and very costly. He said it came from far away, and only a few people in the world owned such a machine. The crowd listened with wide eyes. Some admired the shine, some believed every word, and some simply enjoyed the moment. Mia stood near the garage holding a cloth in her hands. She did not rush forward or join the crowd. She watched from a distance. When Leo started the engine again, Mia felt something strange. The sound felt wrong, not broken, not weak, but forced. It lacked depth and balance. It sounded like a voice trying too hard to sound strong. Mia took a few slow steps closer. She noticed the badge on the front. It looked real, but was slightly off center. The body panels were bright, but the gaps between them were uneven. Most people saw beauty. Mia saw questions. Leo noticed her watching and smiled proudly. He asked if she liked the car. Mia nodded politely and said it was shiny. Leo laughed and spoke again about the price, saying only rich people could understand such machines. Mia said nothing and turned back toward the garage. Inside, Sam was working on an old pickup. He looked at Mia and noticed her thoughtful expression. He had seen that look before. It meant something was not right. Later that day, Leo drove the silver car into the garage, asking for a quick inspection. He spoke loudly again, making sure others nearby heard him. He repeated how valuable the car was. Sam listened calmly and agreed to look. Mia stood nearby quietly as always. When the hood was opened, Mia leaned forward. Her eyes scanned the engine carefully. Her mind connected sounds, shapes, and memories. Something did not match. The parts were common, not rare. Some were placed poorly, showing rushed work. This was not how a true luxury engine should look. Mia felt her heart beat faster, not with fear but with clarity. She knew the truth was close. She pointed gently at a marking on the engine and asked a simple question. Leo paused for a brief moment before laughing. He said she was too young to understand and should leave such things to adults. Sam stayed silent and continued his work. Mia stepped back, but her eyes remained sharp. She noticed Leo avoiding her gaze. As the sun began to lower, the crowd slowly disappeared. The silver car stayed inside the garage. Mia remained quiet, but her thoughts moved fast. She understood that once truth was seen, it could not be ignored. That night she sat at home thinking about the car, the engine sound, the uneven parts, and the man who claimed greatness. She felt no anger, only responsibility. She believed machines deserved honesty just like people, and this moment marked the beginning of change in her simple life, not because she wanted attention, but because truth had found her and waited patiently to be revealed. The next morning the garage felt different. Even before the sun rose fully, Mia arrived early, sweeping the floor and arranging tools while her mind stayed focused on the silver car resting silently inside the space. Sam arrived soon after, greeting her with a gentle nod. He could sense her thoughts without asking questions. The car sat there shining, but no longer looked impressive to Mia. It looked like a puzzle, asking to be solved. As the town slowly woke, people passed by the garage, stopping to glance at the car. Whispers returned, spreading faster than before. Some spoke about its beauty, others about its value, and some about the man who owned it. Leo arrived late with the same confident walk, but his smile felt tighter. He greeted Sam loudly and spoke about how careful the inspection should be because the car was special. Mia stayed quiet, but close. Sam began checking, slowly touching parts, listening to small sounds, and observing movement. Mia watched every step. Her eyes noticed how Leo shifted his weight, how he avoided certain angles, and how his voice grew louder whenever silence appeared. Sam asked simple questions about the car, origin, the service history, and the place it was built. Leo answered quickly, but not clearly. His words were smooth, but shallow like water, hiding no depth. Mia noticed how he repeated the same phrases and avoided details that required facts. As the inspection continued, Mia asked if she could check something. Sam nodded Trusting her completely, she examined the engine closely. Again she traced wires, checked connections, and compared shapes with what she remembered from years of watching real machines. This engine did not belong in this car. It was dressed to look powerful, but underneath it lacked the structure and balance expected from such a model. She noticed marks where parts had been adjusted forcefully and areas where paint tried to hide flaws. Her thoughts moved carefully, not rushing. She knew truth needed patience. Leo watched her closely now, his arms uncrossed, his fingers tapping lightly against his side. He tried to laugh and make jokes about young people being curious, but his tone carried unease. A few townspeople gathered again, drawn by the open garage and the shining car. Mia felt their presence but did not look at them. She focused on the work. Sam asked Mia what she thought. She spoke calmly, saying only what she observed. She mentioned mismatched parts, common components, and signs of heavy modification. The garage grew quiet. Leo stepped forward, saying she was mistaken, that the car was custom-made, and that rich people often changed things. Sam asked for documents. Leo hesitated, then said they were kept elsewhere. That pause felt heavy. The crowd shifted uneasily. Mia could feel the truth rising like heat, but she did not push. She believed truth should stand on its own. Sam suggested checking public records and manufacturer details. Later Leo agreed, quickly, perhaps too quickly, saying he had nothing to hide, but his eyes showed worry. As the day passed, Mia helped Sam finish the inspection. They did not accuse, they did not argue, they only gathered information. When Leo left, the garage felt lighter, but tension remained. The crowd slowly dispersed, talking softly about what they had seen and heard that evening. Mia sat with Sam, reviewing notes and photos she had taken, carefully comparing numbers, shapes, and patterns. Everything pointed to the same conclusion: the car was not what it claimed to be. Mia felt a quiet weight on her chest, not fear but responsibility. She knew what this could mean for the town, for her father, and for Leo. She did not feel joy at the thought of exposing a lie. She felt the need for honesty. She believed that trust once broken harmed everyone. Sam looked at her with pride, not because she was right, but because she was careful, thoughtful, and fair. He reminded her that truth must be shared calmly, without anger. Mia nodded, understanding fully. That night Mia slept lightly, her mind replaying sounds and images the next day would bring answers, and she prepared herself to speak, not to shame but to reveal, because silence would make her part of the lie, and she refused to be that person. The following day arrived with a heavy, quiet feeling in the air, and Mia felt it the moment she stepped into the garage. The silver car stood in the same place, but now it felt different, no longer a symbol of pride, but a question waiting for an answer. Sam moved slowly, checking tools, while Mia prepared papers, notes, and images she had carefully organized. The town began to stir, and soon people started gathering again, drawn by curiosity, and rumor. Word had spread that something was wrong with the famous car, and everyone wanted to know the truth. Leo arrived later than usual, his walk slower, his voice less steady. He greeted people with forced smiles, but his eyes kept returning to the car, and to Mia, who stood calm and focused. Sam asked everyone to stay quiet and allow a clear explanation. Mia stepped forward, not with pride, but with purpose. She held her notes tightly, and began to speak in a clear, gentle voice. She explained what she had observed, how the engine parts did not match the claimed model, how common components were used where rare ones should be, and how signs of force changes were visible. She showed photos, pointing carefully, without accusation, only facts. The crowd leaned in, listening closely. Some nodded, some whispered, and some looked at Leo, waiting for his response. Mia continued, explaining how public records and manufacturer details confirmed her findings. She spoke slowly, allowing the truth to settle like dust in still air. Leo tried to interrupt, once laughing nervously, and saying it was all a misunderstanding, but his words lacked strength. Sam raised a hand, asking for calm, and Leo fell silent. The garage felt full, not just with people, but with truth pressing forward. Mia finished by saying she had no wish to harm anyone. She only believed that honesty mattered, especially in a town built on trust. The silence that followed was deep and long. Leo stood still, his face pale, his confident image fading piece by piece. When he finally spoke, his voice was low. He admitted that the car was not what he claimed. He said he wanted respect, and thought appearance would earn it faster than honesty. His reaction was not loud or proud, it was small and tired. Some people shook their heads, others sighed, disappointed, not angry. The crowd slowly began to disperse, speaking quietly among themselves. The story had changed from admiration to reflection. Sam placed a hand on Mia's shoulder, not as praise but as support. The silver car remained in the garage, but its shine meant nothing now. Mia felt relief, not joy. She believed the truth had been spoken, and that was enough. As the garage emptied, the town seemed quieter, calmer, as if something false had been removed, leaving space for something real to grow. After the crowd left, the garage felt unusually quiet, as if the walls themselves were thinking about what had happened. Mia stood near the silver car for a moment, then turned away, knowing its story was finished. Leo returned later that evening, not with loud words or confident steps, but slowly, with his head lowered. He asked Sam if he could speak. Sam listened calmly, and Mia stayed nearby, not hidden, and not forward. Leo spoke honestly, saying he felt empty chasing respect through false shine. He admitted that pretending to be powerful made him feel important for a short time, but afterward it left him tired and alone. His reaction said everything, not through anger or pride, but through acceptance. Sam replied gently, saying mistakes did not define a person, but what came after did. Mia listened quietly, understanding that truth was not meant to destroy but to correct. Leo asked what would happen to the car. Sam said it would be fixed honestly or sold honestly, nothing more, nothing less. Leo nodded, agreeing for the first time without argument. The next days passed quietly, but the town had changed. People spoke more about trust than wealth, more about skill than shine. The garage became busier than ever, not because of fame, but because of respect. People brought cars knowing they would receive honest work. Mia helped more now, not just observing but guiding others, explaining sounds, parts, and care. Young kids from the town came to watch her work just as she once watched her father. Leo returned one final time to thank Mia, not with gifts or praise but with simple words, saying she helped him see himself clearly. He left town soon after, not in shame but in reflection. The silver car left too, no longer special, just another machine. Mia watched it go, feeling calm, not proud, not relieved, just steady. Life returned to its simple rhythm, mornings with tools, afternoons with engines, and evenings with quiet talks. The town remembered the story not as drama but as a lesson. Mia understood now that truth carried responsibility and courage did not need noise. Her journey did not change her path, it strengthened it. She continued learning, teaching, and listening, knowing that honesty built deeper roots than any luxury ever could. And in that quiet garage surrounded by oil, metal, and trust, Mia found something greater than recognition. She found purpose.